So when detention occurs, confusion spreads quickly. If the phone rings, a spouse says they've taken him. A child says mom isn't home. A friend says I heard something happened. It can be really chaotic and really fearful and scary. In these first moments, a panic multiplies because there's no clear plan. That's where we want to step in to try to have a plan in place in case this happens. That is why preparation before crisis is so important. Every family that is a part of steady presence structure should have what we call a 3 to 4 person emergency contact list. They may already have thought through this, or maybe they've had a caseworker or some other person ask them this, but not just if they don't find out and not just have one person on that, but have 3 or 4 or 5 or more. Why? Because if you only call one person and they don't answer, fear escalates instantly. You assume the worst and you feel alone. And we want to try to avoid that. Instead, families should know, who is it that I call first and who should I call second? If something happens, I will call person number 1. If they don't answer, I immediately call person number 2. If they don't answer, I will call person number 3. Have them practice that, even have it clear, maybe even putting that on the refrigerator or, this should be written down physically and stored in the documentation folder. Maybe again, place it somewhere in the house. It should include full names of people, phone numbers. The idea of their having the accessibility to multiple people is so important. I think the important thing to note here is that there's many families that don't have a green card, and those are going to be the ones that are going to be the most vulnerable for possible detainment. So relationships to the family that they have, whether that person has transportation, whether that person can assist with children. All of these things are important to talk about. What if this person detained who's the only person working and earning income? The first hour determines the emotional tone of the entire situation. So it's important that you talk through with them the situation and the reality. If detention occurs, the first call ideally should be someone on this rapid response team who's trained, and that person then activates a structure. There's probably that point person for the family. If you're part of a team, perhaps at a church, that knows it, that is aware of that. Not everyone should be on this list, not the entire church, not social media. One trained contact is really important. That can be the kind of the liaison for the person who's being detained and their family, and then gather other people around the family to offer support as needed. And that contact varies. They ask where did this occur? You need to find out who confirmed it. Has any paperwork been given? Has the individual been transported? Is there a location known yet? This is really important to have the I-94 form ready. If the detained individual cannot be reached, one of the next steps is to use ICE online detainee locator system. There is a database. I can't guarantee that it'll be updated, but that requires the full legal name, the date of birth, a number if available. It's important that you have the full name of everyone in the house, particularly the adults who possibly would be detained, because sometimes those names are hard you may want to take a picture of their documentation. This is why the documentation is so important. If the family does not know that a number cannot locate immigration documents, finding the individual becomes harder and a lot more stressful. If the facility is identified where the person is, the rapid response can contact, then call attorneys, and if one exists for the family, or track one down, providing the basic facts, ask what the next legal steps are. It's really important to know that there's a real possibility they could be released from being detained. There's no guarantee of that. But if no attorney exists, this is where the pre-developed attorney referral list becomes critical. The church or your group should already have 2 or 3 licensed immigration attorneys identified ahead of time, contacts at those law firms. And this is not the moment to Google randomly, but try to have that in advance. Now, families will often ask, immediately, can we talk to him? Can we go see him? In most detention facilities, detainees can make outgoing calls, though they may be limited and expensive. Families usually cannot directly call into the facility. Can we visit? Will be asked. Visitation depends entirely on the facility, and some require scheduling, some require pre-approval, some offer video visitation only, but identification is almost always required if a visit were to happen. Again, there's no guarantee of that. Volunteers should not speculate. They should go to the official facility website or call the facility director to verify these policies. And then there is the question of children in the scenario of someone detained. If a parent is detained, who is picking up the children from school? This is a big thing, a lot of them are riding the bus, but who's home maybe when they get home. This may be decided within hours. If the family has not prepared, this is where emergency contact list is helpful, becomes essential. That is why we emphasize, again, having 3 to 4 names written down in advance, a team of people around the family. Preparation prevents panic. Another important instruction for families in advance: if something happens, do not sign documents you do not understand. Request to speak to an attorney. Remain respectful. Do not provide false information, but do not feel pressured to sign something immediately without understanding it. Could be something in the fine print there that may, change a lot of dynamics. Volunteers must remember, we are not giving legal advice. We are reinforcing basic protective wisdom and directing families to licensed counsel, to legal help and attorneys. Volunteers themselves need clarity. If you are the one who receives the emergency call, you are not responsible for solving the entire situation alone. You need to prepare yourself for maybe an emotionally hard situation. You activate the structure, the people around you. You pray and you get the support you need emotionally. You contact the next trained person, assign roles, delegate. One person, handles the legal contact. One person coordinates childcare or care for children getting off the bus. With a parent not being around. One person communicates with leadership of organization with us or the other groups. One person ensures financial stabilization as needed, rent assistance, utility bill assistance. And this prevents burnout and prevents emotional overload because it is an emotional situation that will be very intense. There was a situation where only one volunteer carried the entire response. She made every call, fielded every question, handled every detail. And some people work that way. And within 48 hours, she was just emotionally exhausted. She was spent. Another situation, the team had a clear contact chain. 4 people shared defined roles. The emotional load was distributed. The family felt supported without chaos. It's good to know that the family many times will not understand the process in the system, and there'll be a language barrier. But structure protects the volunteers too, you. And that matters, because if you are not protected, you can't protect the family. You need to rapid response is not about just dramatic intervention. It's about minimizing compounding harm. You remember when you fly an airplane, you put the oxygen mask on yourself before you do your kid. So maintain that oxygen on you. It's about preventing children from experiencing unnecessary trauma. It's about ensuring that if one person cannot be reached, another can. It's not, it's being selective too of what you tell the children. Of course, they may be told, but it's helping navigate that delicate situation. It's about replacing isolation with coordination, organization. Again, we've said before, God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. And peace in crisis looks like this written contact list, a trained response team, and everyone knowing their roles, having a group of people in a case of a detainment, a verified facility location, ability to an attorney called quickly, children safely cared for, confidentially maintained, and roles that are clearly assigned. this is not political. This is pastoral. This is shepherding. This is kingdom work, and that is lawful. That is a faithful work in what you are doing. So again, think through these things and be sure to delegate all of these roles, that not just one person is handling it.